All right. Welcome back to another episode of This May Pinch a Little Bit, where the truth does hurt, but sometimes it can heal. And this time I am sitting with one of my best friends, Courtney Provart.
Hello, everyone.
And this time around, we're going to talk about something that definitely affects both of us in a major way, something that we experience on a regular. And it's just what it's like to struggle out here as a millennial in these streets with this degree. And we got this expensive piece of paper. So I'm just gonna let Courtney tell you a little bit about her background and just your educational background and just what you do now.
All right, definitely. So, first of all, both of us graduated from Winthrop University. Took me 4.5 years. But we got it. We got that degree, and it happened to be in biology with a concentration in pre-med. So my hopes and dreams was med school. But I currently work at Verizon Wireless. So we will get more into that. But definitely was able to progress in that manner. So yes.
And how long you been at Verizon?
It was actually about 5 years. 5 years now. Wow.
Seriously. I low-key thought you was gonna say like 3 years. Every time I talk to people though, they be like, "How long your best friend been at Verizon?" I was like, "I've been like 3 years." I've been telling people 3 years for over 3 years.
Technically forever 21, but 5 years is what it was for me. So
wow, I didn't even realize it'd been that long.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this like the first major corporate job you had since you graduated from Winthrop?
Yes, I am clearly a loyal employee, so that can be very appreciated. But yes, this is my very first adult job out of college. A great paying job, comes with benefits. So coming out of college and not knowing exactly, I didn't want to go to med school at that point anymore. So basically, getting a job with a 401k, health insurance was very important, and they pay really well, and we get a lot of incentives. So that's probably why I've been there for 5 years.
But it's not what you initially wanted to do, because that's not what the degree was for, correct?
That's not what the $60,000 is showing up on my credit for. No, not at all.
Mine is definitely spiking at about 70K right now. But yeah, so, I just wanted to spark the conversation with her and let her give that little bit of background because she's not one of the only millennials that I know. We have another best friend who is, went to school with us as well. She's a mom. She's had a couple jobs, and she's not the only one who we have pieces of paper that are just glorified, basically. They're expensive. I just call them expensive pieces of paper. They sit on our shelves collecting dust, or if, like some of us, you don't know where it's at. It just holds some kind of, it's a placeholder, basically. So for me, it's a bit of a sore spot to have that bachelor's degree sit there. And it's almost like what I was telling my dad earlier. I had a long conversation with him, but it's like I bought something offline and the description did not match the package when I opened the box. That's the dream I was sold when I got out of school.
Listen.
It's a bit of a frustration for me because, as a millennial, we're just told like, oh yeah, you're going to go to school, you're going to graduate, then you're going to go to college, and you're going to go get this high paying job in your career. And we're lucky if any of us even see 50K a year. I mean, that's just life. And
reaching. Well, we're in South Carolina too, so that may be a definite reason. But funny story is, I never got my diploma.
Wait, what? From Winthrop?
Never got my diploma. when I graduated, it was just definitely a relief to get up out of there. But me being the person I was with these parking tickets and
Oh
the
my God.
things that I went through. Thank you. You never gave me my diploma. So I still to this day do not have that piece of paper.
Have you contacted them about the expensive piece of paper that belongs to you?
They can honestly keep it. But I mean, I know that my degree says it was awarded. So that was a proud, and I can say I graduated. So I just want y'all to know,
That's terrible, number one. But I guess it makes sense because mine is literally collecting dust on the shelf at my house, along with some photos of my family. So her side is completely different because, she's single, she works, she has a corporate job. But for me, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I'm married, I have 2 kids, and we're the same age, born in the 90s. So it's a different outcome for me. And we still, neither one of us still are doing what we want to do with that degree. Because my dream was to do something in the healthcare field because I love old people. I wanted to open up an assisted living facility. So that was like the thing for me. But that just didn't go anywhere. And I saw this post on Facebook. I think it like originated on Twitter, but it literally said, post your age and how many jobs you've had. And you would have been surprised how many people were younger than 30 with more than 10 jobs. I myself had listed that I was 27 and I had 13 jobs.
Sheesh.
We were nothing like the baby boomers that came before us. That
you can get a job.
But the crazy part is that I think the baby boomers like to say that we're lazy or we complain or we don't lift ourselves up by our bootstraps. But we don't have those same opportunities, almost because they were taken from us because they only had to work 1 or 2 jobs. They paid for college, working a summer job. And then when they got into those high power positions, they changed all of that and they made school so expensive. And now I have so much debt on my back. How am I ever going to pay that off? I'm probably going to die with student loans. I legit saw a post.
Said, keep getting them.
What I think on the Shade Room. And it was like, man, Sally Mae, you might as well go ahead and chalk that up to the game, bro. You ain't never going to get that money back. And that's legit how I'd be looking at it. Like, if I can't get a job that's going to help me pay for the loans, what was the purpose of going to school? That's almost how it feels. But I mean, I'm going to keep grinding. And I give my props to all of the millennials who made it and who are doing something, because there are plenty of us that I see all over my timeline who have made it to where they want to be. They're in the in the field of their passion. So they don't work, they do what they love. So it doesn't feel like work for them. But there are quite a few of us who, man, it just never panned out. And so it's a bit of a tough situation. So it's not something that is definitely it's a hard topic for us, because if we mention it, then those before us feel like we're complaining, and it's always, well, I had it harder than you and I did this and I did that. But the frustration for me is that you made it harder for us because you got into those places of power, and it's almost like you snatched those things away from us. So now what you had easy, you made it harder for us to even go out here and complete the same thing. So anyway, I think it's a bit of a hard pill to swallow. Because I myself am, I was working a corporate job, like a 9 to 5. Not really my thing. I'm more of a free spirit. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. Yeah, I want to work my own hours, be my own boss. I want to build my own empire. I don't want to work for somebody else and build up somebody's empire for 60 years and then retire, or they just kick me to the curb whenever they feel like it. So anyway, I left that job just because we really just couldn't afford the childcare. And props to Courtney's mom for watching my children someplace that I trust. And she definitely gave us a discount. Like, she worked with us for watching our kids, but she has to make a living too. So, props to her for that. But that's just not something that was feasible for us. So I ended up having to leave my 9-to-5 job. And now I work at a bakery, which is fine. It is what it is. But it's like one of those struggle things. So,
and I kind of wanted to touch base on this too. I feel like as millennials, as we keep saying, people around our age and everything, I think the dynamics within the workplace is totally different for us than it was for, say, our parents. They're comfortable with sitting there in the same position for 20 plus years because that's just what they're used to. Yep. But we want to break out of that shell so bad, and we want to be able to do us so bad that, and honestly, that was kind of my struggle. And still is my struggle working where I work at, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in a paycheck that you forget to make yourself happy and make yourself fulfilled to be able to be successful. So I just definitely want to also touch base that could be a struggle as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can understand that. What are you doing now to propel yourself forward? Because given just the conversations that we have outside of the microphone or off of the recording, this is not where you see yourself in the next 5 years.
Oh, no.
How do you keep your dreams alive, as just given the things that we experience as millennials, how tough things are, just the climate and things that we go through, adding on the fact that you're Black, adding on the fact that you're a woman, just piling on all these different struggles. How do you keep that dream alive, and how do you keep propelling yourself forward to get to where you want to be? One is the first half of your question. And then two, where do you see yourself within these next 3-4 years?
All right, perfect. I think to simply answer that would be faith. Like, I've leaned a lot on my faith, and I've grown a lot on my faith to help me continue to have that mindset to be motivated. Again, that was a big struggle, because I definitely was telling Taron earlier that definitely I feel that at one point I just didn't feel fulfilled, and I was feeling more down on myself because I had not accomplished what I think is nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I graduated, yes. But yeah, even to this day, sometimes my mom mentions, oh, you still want to go to med school? You still want to be that doctor? And not really.
Right.
I don't want it to be that. I still have a desire to go into the medical field, yes. And that could come later on. But I see myself in a more lucrative position. So for me, it was my faith and being able to still stay grounded within that, and knowing that it's not a particular time frame that this needs to happen. Like,
oh yeah,
God is going to, or whomever you believe it, God is going to propel you when it's time, and he's prepping you, he's molding you into your purpose. So that's kind of what I go. And I don't even look now. I don't have to look at my peers and be like, "Ooh, she's 30. I'm hitting 30, knocking at that door."
Right.
And I'm like, you're more in that position, but I can't look at other people's journey. I can't focus on that. I have to focus on me. So that was very important in how I was able to continue. And then where I see myself in 5 years, because I do not have, I do not have the kids, I don't have the marriage yet, then I kind of have more free will and freelance to kind of try things and see if they work. And if they don't work, then I can go back to the drawing board, which leads me into why I want to join the Air Force, because I want to create more opportunities for myself, and I want to I want to do this for me. This is something I want to do for myself. So it's stepping into that role more so on the officer end of things. Yes, I'm going to have to deal with male stigmas there, but I'm willing to take on that challenge to create other opportunities for me in the future.
Okay, good answer. She said that like we was about to sit in front of the Obamas or something. But it's just us. We just chilling. But no, I mean, like, I appreciate that answer. And because I mean, as much as we talk and like things that we say and we joke and stuff, I really look up to you and like my other best friend who is not here right now. But man, I look up to them and I always am like comparing myself to them. But most of the time I try to remind myself not to look at other people's highlight reel because everybody's behind the scene is different. And I always have to remind myself that because like she was saying, it's so easy to get caught up in what other people's journey looks like. Like you'll be out here on Instagram and Facebook. Ain't nobody out here posting their struggles.
Like she 24,
right? She got the car. Oh, she got the man. Oh, she out here. She got this job. She got this, and that. She done got the house. Oh, she got the 2.5 kid. Like it's popping. But you ain't out here seeing what she done went through when she was 17 years old, or you ain't out here seeing how hard she done struggled at 21. Like you just don't know what people have been through, or you don't know what she's going through right now to even get half of what she got. So it's easier said than done to not compare, but you always got to put that reminder. Basically, you got to put on those that, turn that reminder switch on every time you flip on that phone that, these people are only going to share the good stuff because ain't nobody want to be out here putting all their business out on social media that, my life ain't what all it seems to be. I mean, for me, I don't really post at all. I'm just nosy. I just be on there, people watching, but
don't we all?
Nobody is going to be on there putting all the bad stuff that they went through. So, I mean, as hard as it is out here for a millennial, I try to remind myself that just because it's hard doesn't mean I should stop.
Yes.
And, just because I feel like stopping doesn't mean I should quit either. And on those days or weeks or months when I find myself where I have not done anything productive, doesn't mean the grind is gone. Because I do get in those stupors. I do get complacent and I do find myself not doing anything towards my goals. But I get back on it. And it's okay if you have those times, which is, how all of us get.
Definitely. Especially when you don't have the means to support your dreams.
God,
I think that's also an important aspect too, because I have such a big dream, but it can fizzle really quickly when you just think about the financial aspect of it. But I just that's a killer too.
Yes, because I was listening to I know me and you like Kev on Stage, and I listened to his podcast, and even Tony Baker Comedy, and
shouts out,
right, because I love them. They're
Go
funny.
Look them up; they're really awesome.
But that's what I know. Kev on Stage and Doughboy, their Righteous and Ratchet podcast, they were talking about that. That me and you could have the same dream, which is how we went to see Us. And that talked about like classism, which Us was actually really good psychological horror, by the way. That was really good.
I may go, I'm probably.
I feel like we need to go see it again.
Third.
Right? Okay.
It's needed. It's needed.
But they were talking about that on one of their Righteous and Ratchets podcasts, like how me and you could have the exact same dream. But if I come from money and you don't, my dream can be propelled forward and I can go out here and make whatever invention that I was going to create, but yours can never come to fruition because you never had the means to do so. Or my dream could be to go to whatever school and become a neurosurgeon or whatever. And because I had the means to do so, I can do that. But because you never got the opportunity, well, then your life is different and you never be that neurosurgeon. So money does play a factor into that. But we ain't gonna never let that stop our grind, because you know how many people have become famous or have done things that they wanted to do without the means to do so.
Yes.
Or people who have become famous or who have created things later on in life. And we're only 27. Remember I told you I ran into Randall, which is somebody we used to work with way back in the day. We worked at Chick-fil-A.
When I was saying it's my pleasure.
Right. When we worked at Chick-fil-A. But me and him got to talking about like never stop grinding, basically. Because he was talking about a job he worked at, and I was talking about where I was at in life. But we had mentioned Samuel L. Jackson, and he didn't become famous till he was like 47. That man is like 70 something now. He's been in so many movies. So it's just a reminder to never let the grind stop. Don't quit. Mm-hmm. Like, I just take that word from my dad. I work hard now so I can play hard later.
Yeah.
I do not want to be in my 60s just working and grinding and struggling. I want to build something for my kids. I want to leave a legacy behind for my children. I want to start my children off with something. And I tell this to my sister all the time. I want to have a nest egg for my kids when they start off. And I figured when you have children, you would want to do the same.
Yes.
Absolutely. When they get out here and they get ready to go to school, if they don't go to school, if they go to trade school, if they just want to start off working, whatever, I want to have a little nest egg for you where you can take that money, you can get you a car, get you a plate, whatever you want to do with it. But I don't want you to be out here with nothing like I was. And I had nothing to start off with. I started out with a bunch of debt because student loans ain't nothing but debt. I don't care if it's subsidized or unsubsidized. If it ain't a scholarship, or most of the time with grants are like, you don't have to pay grants back. Not the Pell Grant. No, grants you don't have to pay back. But if it ain't a scholarship or a grant, subsidized and unsubsidized, it's still a loan.
Trust me.
I don't want my kids to be out here with a bunch of loans. Like, I just want you to have that money to start you off with. And I want you to be out here with these scholarships if you're going to school, like the least amount of debt. I want you to be out here the right way, not like how I was with nothing.
Right. So, no clue, just knew go to school.
Right. And now that I'm in my 20s going on 30s, we out here like, how much you sell on? Because I don't do salad, man. Who I got? Navient, how much money you sell? Oh yeah, you ain't gonna see that for a while.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing that I'll take into when I do have my kids, is that it's so many opportunities for you to make money. Now, I'm going to press on with school because that is important. But I also want to give them the opportunity to start stuff, maybe even as early as elementary school, to be honest. Like, I just want to show them and instill into them what it takes to own something. Because right now, what can you say that you like?
Right.
You pass,
right. Well, I own one car. I'm about to own the other one in a couple months, but it took us 6 years to own that one?
Okay, it's 6 years, and what was a $9,000 car was $28,000. You know what I mean? Like,
right, all the interest on it that you done paid.
I just want to make sure that I set them up for opportunities and things that I didn't have the tools and resources for it.
Right, because we got to break that cycle. I just hate that vicious cycle that has just been going on and been passed down generation to generation. The financial illiteracy, if that's the right word. I'm pretty sure that's the right word.
Yeah.
But
just not knowing.
And just, not being able, because you can't teach what you don't know.
Yes.
So if our parents weren't well-versed in money and they didn't come from money, it's not something that they can give to us or teach us about. So I'm not well-versed in money. I mean, I know how to count my money. Don't know how to count my coins. Okay.
I watch it like a whole piece.
But, I'm not well-versed on how to manage it, which is what I'm still learning. Still trying to build up credit, get my credit score to be better. So I don't want my kids to start out on the bad path that I did. So I'm going to make sure they take those financial classes. before they even graduate high school.
Mm-hmm.
Set them on the path to the right way with credit cards, if they even have them. But, you know, give them that head start that we didn't get. So they're not out here as what, Generation Z? Because I think they're going to be Gen Z, not knowing and starting out just terrible like we did, just out here in these streets and struggling like we are. And they ain't even struggling. We got struggle with the K on it, SK struggle. So I just don't want that for my kids. So I just think it's important that, you know, as millennials, we keep grinding, man. Because for those of us who made it, man, congratulations. You survived.
Snaps up, honey.
You survived. And for those of us who haven't, keep going. Because we're going to get there. Might take us a little longer, but we're going to get there. Because I just don't want us to be out here in our 50s and our 60s still trying to make happen. And if it do in your 50s, great. But if we can make it happen sooner, why work hard all the way up until then when you can make it happen now?
Right.
Because don't nobody want to be slaving till you about to die, basically. When you can, you know, take that time to play with your grandkids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely. Travel. Okay. That's my goal.
That's what I aim for in life. So kudos to those of us who have made it, and for those of us who haven't, we gonna keep grinding. We ain't gonna stop, and we gonna keep going till we get there.
Yes, please. You know, that's important to continue to believe in your dreams. And you know, me and my friends we've been friends for like
10 years.
So this is the first year that we sat down with each other and we did our vision boards of how we want to see this year for ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And that was so inspirational. That just in itself shows our growth. That we can kind of sit there and envision what we want to see for this year. And I think those vision boards are amazing. Like I would love to continue to do that as a tradition type thing, even if we're not in the same state.
Yeah, I'm down.
I think that's super important because as I sit down every day, I'm checking off things on that vision board. Like I'm just like, okay, you know, one of my goals, for example, is to have my savings end up being more than my checking by the end of this year. So those are things that are always constantly on my mind, you know, health, wealth, credit, all that good stuff are some visions that you want to definitely set for yourself, and making sure that you have a group. Well, even maybe not if you have that support, but if you do have that support, have people around you that you can really kind of lean on, because it would be much harder if I felt lonely, you know. But
yeah, I mean, it does help if you have a group. If you don't, that's okay God. Too. I mean,
hello, God.
whoever you pray to, talk to, self-help books, whatever. Even if you got to write it down, make it plain, put it on your wall. If you don't have anybody, you know, if it's just you and your conscience, that's cool too. Write it down, put it up on your wall so you can see it every day. That helps, because when you bring things to fruition, things that you speak out loud, it matters. There's a book that I mentioned in a previous podcast called The 4 Agreements, which is something my therapist had mentioned to me. And it's funny that it works in this podcast, but it is free on Google. It's a PDF. I think it's like 33 pages. I'm not going to lie. I cannot remember the name of the author, and I do this every single time, but I'm going to look it up right now. But I know the author's name is Ruiz something. But let me double check. Give me a quick second. It is Ruiz. Hold on. I'm looking at it right now.
Well, tell us. So what does it touch base on while you're looking?
Don, D-O-N, and that's D as in Delta, D-O-N, Miguel Ruiz. And it's The 4 Agreements. It's a practical guide to personal freedom. And it's pretty much just agreements that you would make with yourself about just your personal almost like personal affirmations.
Okay.
So the very first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. And he goes into explain impeccability means to not sin. Literally, that's exactly what it means. And basically, to be impeccable with your words means to not sin against yourself.
Ooh,
so
that's deep.
Don't say things against yourself that would harm yourself. So don't say, I'm too ugly, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I'm dumb. Because if somebody continuously tells you, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, and then eventually you're going to start believing, well, hey, maybe I am really stupid. Yeah. But if somebody comes to you and say, man, you're super smart, and somebody keeps telling you that, then eventually you're going to be like, man, I'm really, really smart. So if you continue to, affirm those beliefs in yourself, then that's how you're going to feel. That's how you're going to act. That's what you're going to portray. Mm-hmm. So that first agreement is just to be impeccable with your word. And that's something that I've adopted within myself. And I try to remember every day. Everything that I tell myself is being reflected. And that's what I'm going to portray on the outside.
Absolutely.
I think that the Four Agreements is a good book, and it's something that could also help if you're within that struggle of that millennial battle of how we all go through of not making it and we feel like it's not our time, that kind of thing. And again, it is free as a PDF on Google. Not sure if the author knows that, but I promise it's online. And it does seem a little weird at first because it first starts out as like him talking about I think a doctor or somebody in the town who found out something and then the people didn't believe it. So it was a little weird the first couple of pages. But once you get into it, you'll see him talking about the different agreements. And then I think the second agreement is don't take it personal. So don't let what people say to you personally affect you. So if somebody says that you're ugly, don't take it personal because it's really something within them that's causing them to act out against you.
I'm the queen of like being nonchalant about things. So all my fellow Scorpios, you know what I mean.
So yeah, I think that's a good book. If you are in the struggle with how things are right now as a millennial, even if you're not a millennial and you're hearing this and you're in the struggle about you don't feel like it's your time yet, or you haven't made it and you're watching all the Instagram stars pop off and it just ain't been you yet, the Four Agreements is a good one. I really like that one. It's something my therapist put me onto, and it's popping, but it is free online. It's like 33 pages as a PDF and I read it on my phone. It was a quick read, even with my little kids running around and like yelling. So I'm almost done. So check that one out if you have the time. But yeah, anything else you want to add, Courtney?
No, I think that if anything, be your own motivator. That's always been my motto. Like, you're not going to get anywhere if you lose that motivation for yourself. Nobody's going to motivate you like you. Nobody's going to get you to where you want to be like you, and everything like that. So that would be my end point with it, or my point to add to what your affirmations were.
True. I think that's a good one. Yeah, you got to always believe in you, because even if it ain't nobody in your corner, can't nobody go out here and get it but you.
Find it.
So yeah, I think that's all we got for today. So thank y'all for listening. If you are listening, if you want to check me out, I'm on Instagram at This May Pinch a Little Bit. If you want to write me, I am reachable at thislittlepinch@gmail.com. And again, I am available, or might be available, on YouTube, but not 100% sure if I'm going to put that through yet. But we'll see. I don't know if I'm into the vodcast yet.
Continued. Dot.
Thanks for listening. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, guys.